For 12 years, Cross the Nations have been travelling the globe, carrying a cross and a message of love and hope. They've seen God do the impossible and change the lives of countless people. But now it's time to hear the truth. It's time to hear the story of Cross the Nations. Welcome to a very special episode of Cross the Nations. It's very special, as you can see, because I'm actually here with Mike and Alan in person, and I just want to say welcome. It's really good to be with you both. I'm really glad you're here.
It's great to be here, Graham. Finally, we're all together in the same place.
Finally. Over the last 10 weeks we've been hearing a lot of different stories from you both, stories of miraculous provision, incredible things happening to people, people getting healed, you turning up in the right place at the right time, literally saving people's lives at times. Why now have you decided to put these stories out there on a bigger platform like with Cross the Nations, the series? Why is now the right time for that?
Well, because of the lockdown, because we've not been able to walk anywhere, and a lot of this is down to you, Graham, because you approached Alan and myself with the idea of actually doing some programs, and why not get our stories out there? Because, the internet is such a brilliant platform to do that with. And so we've had time on our hands during the lockdown to actually put these programs together. So well done, mate, for coming up with that idea.
And I mean, from my personal perspective, it's been like each week, it's something I've really looked forward to, our time together. And even though we've been separated, obviously, by Zoom and the lockdown and everything else, it's been really good fun making it. And we've had a lot of laughs. A lot of it obviously gets edited out, but it's been really good fun. And the Bible, not the Bible, there's the old hymn that says, count your blessings, name them one by one. And I think for me personally, it's been great just to remember some of the things that we've done, some of the stories, some of the adventures, because it does make you thankful to God. In all honesty, it does make you thankful to God.
Well, like you say, it's been great to be part of this journey for a bit and to sort of document it and be part of cataloguing it and stuff like that. And I don't think a lot of the banter and the funniness can come across really on Zoom because you can't speak over each other, you can't interject when you want. So I think to everyone at home, we must have looked quite professional on Zoom, and I don't know if that's going to change now throughout this interview or not, but we'll find out, because my next question is, how important is it for you to be able to laugh on these crosswalks? Because I know firsthand you have a proper good laugh while you're doing it. And how important has that been on your travels?
It's massively important, isn't it?
Yes.
And, obviously on the Zoom episodes, we've not been able to really talk about the banter and the fun and the laughing and just the crazy situations we find ourselves in at times.
That's right.
Do you want me to mention?
Any stories you've got? Go for it.
Okay,
can I start first of all? Because I've got an issue. Graham, I know you get victimised, and to be honest, Mike has got this habit of, we both have really, that we've been described as two sharks circling their prey, really, looking for a weakness to exploit. But one thing that does happen, and rookies have found this out, and I was a rookie once when I first started, is that often we have to carry the cross, not set up as it is now behind us now, but in its bag, that it flies and it comes apart in three pieces, in case people didn't realise that, and it goes in a canvas bag, so it goes on an aeroplane or a train or in a car or whatever, however we need to transport it. But there is a light end and a heavy end. And I'm not going to say which end is which because there might be potential crosswalkers out there watching
Don't
this,
spoil it.
and they'll need to discover this for themselves. But Mike always used to say to me when I started, you take the light end out, and I would take it, and it was flipping heavy. But I always thought Mike was taking the brunt of the weight, so I wasn't going to complain, even though the strap was cutting into my hand. And I think it was probably about 3 years before I found out I was actually carrying the heavy end the whole time. But the thing is now, whenever we get a rookie, we say to them, you take the light end, I'll take the heavy end. And they all take it, and they're swapping hands, and they're thinking, he's not swapping hands, he's proper hardcore, but it's not. We've given them the heavy end.
That's it, well, the cat's out the bag now.
And how long did it take you to realise that it actually wasn't the light end?
I think about 3 years at least. It may have been even longer. It was a long time.
I mean, this is just. I was just thinking of some of the crazy places we've stayed. I mean, God's provided for us to stay, and you know, as you know, we've only actually ever slept. Or I've only ever actually slept in the open air once in 11 years of doing this.
So in 11 years, you've only had to actually sleep out in the open.
That's right.
One time.
So seeing as though we don't have any accommodation planned, maybe the odd one night here out of 14 in a crosswalk planned, God provides every single night for us, which is incredible, isn't it? But we have stayed in some funny places. The provision that God's got for us at times is hilarious. On one occasion we were in Holland, and we'd come to a city I think called Dordrecht.
Dordrecht? Yeah, just outside of Rotterdam.
He feels the need to correct me on these things.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
Anyway, so we were in this town. We hadn't got anywhere to stay. I remember we were sat outside a train station, weren't we? You were laying on your back asleep. They could have nicked your boots, nicked everything. You wouldn't have been any the wiser, would you? But he was just asleep. But all of a sudden we were there. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening, 7 o'clock in the evening, something like that. Phone call came in. We didn't recognise the number. I answered the phone, and there was a Holland guy, Dutch guy.
We'll cut that.
Yeah,
There was a Dutch guy.
There was a Dutch guy, and on the end of the phone, broken English. Hello, is that Mike Vickers? I said, yes. He said, are you walking through my country, Mike Vickers? So I said, yes. He said, are you walking with the cross? I said, yes. He said, good. And then he said, so where are you sleeping tonight? I said, well, funny you should say that, but we actually haven't got anywhere planned for tonight, so we're just waiting on God. We're just actually sitting outside the train station in the city centre, waiting for God to open something up for us. He said, very good. Give me a while and I will ring you back. And that was it. He said goodbye. The phone call ended. So I just said to Alan, somebody's just rang me and mentioned this, and I said, I don't know who he is or where we're going to be staying or what he's going to do. Anyway, the phone rang again in 15 minutes. Hello, is that Mike Vickers? I said, yes. He said, are you walking through my country, Mike Vickers? And he went through it all again.
Is that your Dutch accent, by the way?
Yes, it's the best I can do.
Wow.
Okay.
Right.
It gets better. It gets better. So he said, so anyway, he said, I have just the place for you. I said, great. He said, yes. He said, I will give you directions to Noah's Ark. so excellent. This is a prank call.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got off the phone. I said to Alan, Alan, someone's just called and said that we're staying in Noah's Ark tonight. So he was laughing, I was laughing. Anyway, he did give us directions. So I thought, well, we might as well check it out. So we started following these directions, and as we were walking, all of a sudden, over this hill came these couple of young people. It was a couple, wasn't it, on a motorbike?
Oh, they're on a motorbike.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And they came in and they got off the motorbike and they said to us, we've been looking for you all day. We've been riding around all day searching for you.
Yeah.
And like we were some superstars or something. But they'd heard about us or read something about us, and they'd actually prayed that they'd bump into us, and they got off the
Wow.
motorbike and they wanted pictures taken with us, and they felt so encouraged. They felt like their faith had been boosted because their prayer had been answered. So we had a little time with them. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
Then they got back on the motorbike.
No, 1 minute, because we asked them directions. We said we've got to get...
Yes, that's right.
Because
well
we weren't
done.
sure. If
Well done.
Yeah.
So they basically said to us, right, they said, because we said, look, we're on our way. And I thought they were just going to laugh.
Yeah.
I said, we're on our way to Noah's Ark because we're staying there tonight. And they went, oh, good, good. Like, what do you mean good? Right? They're in on it now. They must be in on it.
Yeah.
You know. So they said, yes, you just go over the hill, another 300 yards, there'll be a big open space, massive big car park, and there you'll see it.
So you still think this is a wind-up at this point?
Yes, I did.
Is that what we expected to see when you...
Kind of. So anyway, we followed the last instructions. We found this big open like car park area, big space, and there was
On the water.
Yeah, there was Noah's Ark, literally on the estuary, docked.
How big are we talking?
Well, actually, we came to find out that it's exactly to scale.
What?
Exactly according to the dimensions in Genesis. So
It is big.
Wow.
but
It's huge.
like we're looking at this thing, thinking this is just mad.
Yeah.
This is just mad. But I mean,
And
at
as we
that
pulled
point,
up in the car park, there was a professional photographer pulled up.
and
And
took some photographs of us.
yeah.
You know, I mean, who? But
What, were they anything to do with the person
No.
that phoned you?
he'd seen us walking and basically thought, let's go and get some photographs of these two crazies. And so we did, didn't we?
Yeah,
We took some really good quality pictures of us. So anyway, we walked to the ark. We were searching for the door. we walked right round the door,
Brilliant.
knocking on the door, thinking, you know, Noah's going to come
Yeah,
out.
this
to
is
the door to us.
biblical now, yeah.
So anyway, a young fellow who was staying on the ark, finishing off some last minute jobs, I think, and maintenance, and he had built a flat at the top of the ark, was staying there, and he knew we were coming. The guy that had spoken to us on the phone told him we were coming, and we said, is it okay to stay? And he said, yes, of course. And he showed us to this room, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the room kind of was all in wood. Even the door closer mechanism was made of wood.
Yeah.
Everything was
Oh,
wood,
wow.
except a mattress. We had a couple of
Yeah,
mattresses
mattresses,
thrown in
yeah.
the room.
And the shower.
There was a shower. But he showed us around, didn't he? And we
Yeah.
went down into the base part of the boat, and he just basically told us how this thing was put together. Something like 4 million euros or something it took to build it. Just, you know, and there was actually live animals there.
So what's it supposed to be?
Well, it's actually used as an exhibition, and
Right.
so the pioneer guy who had the idea to build it, had the dream to build it, has basically put in it a massive big exhibition. Obviously, the story of Genesis, story of Noah, and schools and colleges and, you know, kids can come on, adults can come on and,
Wow.
and walk around the exhibition, and it actually tells the story of Noah, but also it shares the gospel, and many people have come onto that ark and come to Christ and put their faith in Jesus Christ as they've gone around and read and looked at it.
Yeah.
And
That's amazing,
lots of
isn't it?
pastors and leaders rubbished the whole plan, the whole project, and said it's a waste of time, waste of money. But he's seen hundreds and hundreds of
That's
people
amazing, isn't
come to faith who've gone on the ark. Real pioneer fella, I forget his name, can't remember his name, but he wrote a book.
it?
But he met with us in the
Next
morning, he
morning.
had breakfast with us
Oh, wow.
and shared his heart with us, and just a
Yeah, it's
real
lovely.
pioneer, real man of God.
Yeah.
Our faith was built up, his faith was built up. He said it was a privilege to meet us, but we felt it was a privilege to meet him. But yeah, just an amazing time, but just
Yeah.
a crazy
Yeah.
experience. Just funny, we laughed. And
So when
laughed.
you're lying in a train station thinking this is going to be it for the night,
Yeah.
Dutch fella gets on the
And the
phone.
next morning we wake up to a donkey braying.
Yeah.
Going,
What's going through your head at that point? When you're lying in bed on that night thinking we're in Noah's Ark.
yeah, no.
Like, you have to pinch yourself and just think, is this
Yeah.
real?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, but the funny thing was, the next day we walked on to the next town, which I think is called Grincham,
Ah.
and someone had set up then for us to stay somewhere, because what happens is often you get passed down the line.
Right.
So somebody rang ahead to say we were coming, and we stayed with this lovely Christian lady who, I think her father, who passed away because she was our age, her father was quite a well-known evangelist or Christian leader in the country in his time, but he's obviously passed on. Anyway, we get to her house and we walk in and she's like, oh. And we said, is everything okay? She said, yes, I prepared a room for you, but there's been a misunderstanding. So we said, well, what's the problem? So she showed us the room, and it was a double bed with all rose petals on and candles and stuff like that.
Oh,
She thought it was Mike and Helen coming.
You got the honeymoon suite.
But it
Brilliant.
wasn't. There was a misunderstanding. It's Mike and Alan.
So did you keep the rose petals?
Yeah,
anyway?
we thought it was a bit of a shame to waste the petals, so we kept them on the bed, didn't we?
So you slept in the bed, didn't you? And I slept downstairs, or was it the other way around?
Well, I can't remember that.
No, but there we are.
So I mean, the fact that you have so much banter on the road and stuff, and you end up in these ridiculous, let's be honest, they are ridiculous situations.
Yeah.
To go from sleeping in a train station, to being in Noah's Ark, to turning up in a honeymoon suite,
Yeah.
and so many more. Like, it's crazy. But I mean, does God use this banter? Does God use the humour? Because it's not just the situations. You two in and of yourselves are just funny characters. You're just always looking for the wind up and stuff. So, how's God used that? How has that been a tool for you while you've been out there?
Well, do you know what? Part of the fun that we have and the banter that we have makes a massive difference, especially if we stay in a pastor's house.
Right.
You know, we understand the pressures that pastors are under. We know something of the stress. We know something of the weight that comes down on a leader who's in charge, who's the senior leader of the church. We understand that, and we've stayed in senior leaders' houses before, and we bring
national
with us,
leaders as
yeah,
well.
that's right, and we bring with us the banter, the fun that we have into that situation, and it comes in the main. It comes as a relief,
Right.
and as a breath of fresh air, I think, for many of the leaders that we visit. And there's one in particular that stands out. We were in Poland. In fact, it was right when we were in Warsaw, right at the very beginning of our crosswalk in Poland, back in 2014, was it? Yeah, 2014. He was an apostle, actually, in charge of quite a few churches. Apostle Andrew Stepanov.
Yeah.
And we stayed in his house.
Now, before you say any more, the background, he's got an amazing testimony, okay?
Yeah.
He's in Poland, but he's Ukrainian,
Right.
okay? And before the Iron Curtain came down, right, this guy worked for Soviet military intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So not quite like a spy, but almost like a spy type character. Now, this is important to the story, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a very serious guy.
Yeah, very serious.
And we'd been there for quite some hours, and he wasn't very talkative, was he? And
No.
we were laughing and stuff, and he was kind of looking at us a bit strange, wasn't he, at first? But I think after a period of time, when he heard some of the stories and the way God uses us, it sort of broke down some barriers with him. And I don't know how we went from that scenario to getting him to do something crazy for us. I think
He was a James Bond fan.
He was a James Bond fan.
Yeah.
And we both agreed that he looked like a James Bond villain.
Blofeld.
Yeah. He
Kind
looked
of.
and sounded
Yeah.
like a Bond
He
villain.
did. He spoke like that, didn't he?
Yeah.
And so when we explained that to him, it kind of went from that to us even talking him into picking up his cat. And his cat was called...
I think his cat was called James Bond.
Yeah.
No
his
way.
cat was called James Bond.
So we got him to pick the cat up, and we said, look, what we want you to do, we're going to direct you, and we're going to give you the words to say, but we want to record you doing it. So would you pick your cat up, put it on your lap, and stroke your cat, and we want you to say the words, I've been expecting you,
Mr. Bond.
He's a leader, like he's
A national leader.
national leader, apostle, many churches. we thought he was a really serious guy, that he wouldn't go along with our craziness, but there he was with the cat on his lap, stroking the cat, and actually going through.
And we had to do a few takes because the first one go, no, you're doing it all wrong. Do it again.
So you took it then really seriously.
Oh, we were deadly serious.
Yeah, we were.
Unbelievable. I mean, how does it go then from you talking to this apostle about like just mundane things and crosswalks, and then was it just a natural progression?
Yes.
Sitting over your cat. Unbelievable.
Like a natural progression.
But
anyway.
here's the thing: every church we went to after that, everyone had heard of him. Everyone knew who he was. We get this little video out, and they're going, "Oh, we can't believe this."
I've been expecting you, Mr. Bond.
And basically, he was thrown out of the ministry about 3 months after, wasn't he? No, but they couldn't believe it, could they?
No, it was brilliant.
And that's the point, right? That you need to be able to have a laugh. As a leader, you need to be able to have fun. You need to be able to have a laugh, and you need to be able to take what you're doing, what God's given you, really seriously. But you need to be able to not take yourself too seriously. But seriously though, it came as a, I think he even said to us, "Do you have to go tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh right, yeah.
Do you have to go tomorrow? Can you stay a bit longer?"
Yeah.
We ministered at his church. It was a really powerful meeting, if I remember right.
Yes.
Lots of people responding, getting their hearts right with God, and also responding to the call to really take the gospel to the nation. But for him, as a leader, God used us to be a friend.
Yeah.
And, he's never going to see us again. Don't know where we came from, don't know where we're going,
Yeah.
Not likely to ever see us again. So for him it was like, I've got two friends here with me for this period of time, and I can just be myself with them.
Relax.
And have some fun. That's very important. It's very important.
It's really short
Laughter
sighted.
is hugely important, right?
Yeah.
Laughter is, and we laughed, didn't we? It wasn't just the kind of laugh, someone laughs, but they're so stressed out, they laugh just for a second and they return back to the heaviness and the weightiness of what they're going through. But there was belly aching laughter, wasn't there? The kind that releases endorphins and actually does you the world of good. So, the Bible says a merry heart does good like medicine. Yeah. Laughing is for us, even some of the life-threatening situations we've been in, laughter has been a key thing. For us.
And it's not like something that we do on purpose, think, all right, we need to laugh now.
Yeah.
It's not like, this is our strategy or whatever. It just comes naturally because of, I guess, the chemistry that we have between us, the way we get on. We've got a similar sense of humour. We've got a lot of history. We've got a lot of the same influences on our life. But it's just we find the same sort of things funny, which sometimes other people don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing, is that often we do find ourselves, because it is gruelling, and you've touched on this before, Graham, it is gruelling, it is hard. We do get tired, we do get grumpy, we do get irritated with one another and stuff like that, and you need to be able to laugh at yourself in those situations, because it could really deteriorate otherwise. And it does happen that people fall out, or have arguments, and often it's over something that's really stupid.
Yeah.
And to be honest,
and you get a bit naughty around about 4 o'clock, don't you, mate? You're ready for bed then. Really.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We haven't had a scrap.
No.
We haven't had a scrap, but
No.
he does get a bit. He gets a bit.
Because you two are funny, because when other people think, oh bless, they're obviously struggling a bit, let's lay off them. You don't have that, whatever that is. I don't know if it's compassion or conscience, I don't know, but like I remember when I joined in Poland for that day, you'd obviously been working for weeks. I jumped on, was quite fresh, and but we got to a point where we was a bit lost, and you were sort of not bickering, but you're having there was a little bit of a disagreement over the map of which way we should go. I was standing back as I do, just watching, and then Mike said, "Right, Alan, it's this way." And then as you started walking in that direction, you must have got to like 100 yards. Mike held me back and said, "Watch this." And then he shouted to you, "Alan, I meant that way." And I can't, the face that you turned around and pulled was like, "I'm going to kill you." But then by the time you got to us, you were laughing. But then Mike sent you back anyway in the same direction.
No, it was that way after all.
Actually, it was that way, Alan. They let you get really close and sent you away again.
Yeah.
And I can say firsthand, I've seen you sort of operate.
But at the time, Alan was the rookie, wasn't he? So,
Yeah.
there you
Here's the thing. I mean, sometimes we all get irritated, and we all have moments of weakness and what have you. But we do laugh. But here's the thing. I mean, Mike probably won't say this about himself, but somebody once asked me. He said, "Would you have him in your side in a trench?" Do you know what I mean? If you're in like a life or death situation. And I'll be honest with you, and I don't say this lightly, I couldn't think of anyone I would rather have in my corner, because at the end of the day, I know Mike has got my back, and I'd like to think that he feels the same way about me, that if we were in that life and death situation, that I've got his back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to be honest, that kind of camaraderie, I think in civilian life, in a sense, you don't get it. I think people like soldiers and stuff like that, they have a similar sense of humour, and they have that kind of bond.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we found ourselves in a lot of difficult situations, and it does bond you together. I mean, you know, just ridiculous things happening all the time. It is difficult, it is hard. I mean, I'm just thinking one last funny story. We were in Romania and we'd climbed a hill all day. We walked out of Brasov and we'd walked up into the mountains. And it was summertime, but where we stayed that night was like it would have been a ski resort kind of area, but obviously it was in the height of summer. And we walked all day up, and the last bit I can remember, it was like an S-shaped road. Do you know what I mean? We're going up and up and up and up, and it's like, oh man.
Can I just butt in there?
Yeah.
Because halfway up, if you remember, we got invited into that family's garden.
Yes.
And
that's where we got the tree sap.
They gave us tree sap.
yes.
Tree sap.
Yeah.
We hadn't got any food or anything to eat.
No. We were drinking spring water.
Yeah. And so they gave us tree sap, which looked disgusting.
It did.
I mean, it looked like it was sort of.
It's like maple
dark.
syrup, but it
looked like
nasty.
oil with a cream top.
Yeah.
I think we might actually have a video
It
of
tasted.
you.
It tasted.
We've
Right.
actually got a video of you drinking it.
Hello, Graham. So this is happy birthday to you, mate. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Graham. Happy birthday to you. Okay, tell him about the sap, Alan.
In honour of your birthday, Graham, we have a bottle here. It contains tree sap. I'm not kidding, and we're going to toast your good health in tree sap. Do you want to see it dribble out? No,
Yeah,
I'll tell
let him see it. Let him see it. Happy birthday, Graham.
We're bringing it home for you.
We love you.
We want you.
That was halfway up that particular mountain.
Yeah.
And do you want to carry on, or do you want me to carry on?
Well,
Go on.
no.
Not
yeah.
to start
Okay.
bickering again.
I've
are
got
you?
to let me tell the bit. Obviously, there's a
Well,
bit.
anyway, we get to where we're staying, and I don't know if we'd had a shower yet, or the guy was just preparing our room, or whatever. But we were sat in like a little dining room kind of area, and we were chatting. And I don't know what Mike said, but it really tickled me, and I was laughing. But I was laughing so much that I couldn't catch my breath.
Oh no.
And I actually got up. I got up from the chair and I was laughing like this. And I lost my breath and I just crashed into a table and chairs, knocked them flying, and I was out, wasn't I?
Yeah, it was like there was a guy standing behind the bar area. Alan just gets up and the barman's just watching Alan crash into a table and chairs. Knock them everywhere. Everything goes over. The table goes over. Chairs go over. And Alan's laying on the floor, kind of having a bit of a fit on the floor.
My goodness.
And I'm like, what's he doing? So I went over to him quickly, obviously, and he was on his back, and I was smacking him around the face. Alan,
Did you actually hit me around the face?
yes, I hit you. I took advantage. Alan,
Yeah.
Alan,
You've been
smacking
awake
him around
for
the
5
face.
hours still
No,
going.
quite a bit, smacking him around the face. And then all of a sudden, he opened his eyes. And he said to me, what are you doing here? You thought you were in at home,
Yeah,
didn't you?
because
You
I
weren't.
came round, I'd passed out, right? But in my mind at that moment, I woke up, obviously Mike's face is about a foot away from my face. And I'm thinking, I've just woken up in the night in the bed. What's Mike doing in my bedroom with his face a foot away? Like, what's going on? So I just went, what are you doing here? And I had no recollection at that point of what had happened 30 seconds beforehand.
Know what that was, whether it was heat stroke, whether it was because you just laughed and you saw
just
stars,
lost my
didn't you?
breath.
You said you saw
I
stars.
saw stars.
Yeah.
And it's not the only time you've saved his life, though, is it?
No, it's true.
Absolutely no, that's right. Because before we went to Hungary, was it? No, not Hungary.
No.
Where was it?
Where was
Lithuania?
Where were we going?
Was this curry night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Graham, was you there?
I was there.
Graham
I saw
was
it
there.
all.
You thought we were mucking about.
Honestly,
before
I'm
we
not
even
just saying
went,
this, it was
this-
the
this
best
was-
thing I've ever seen.
This was the night before we left to go on a crosswalk, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we were in a curry house in Northwich,
Yeah.
and you got something in your throat, and you went red, then you went purple, and then your eyes were saying, do something, because you weren't breathing.
No, and all talking.
I can't remember if you were laughing at first, and then you just
Yeah.
it started becoming this bit of a wheeze. We were all still laughing and laughing, thinking, oh, he's like, it wasn't that funny. But then you stood up, and then
From your perspective,
I
Graham.
have to say though, the speed that you got round to give him the Heimlich.
But what was it that you said that was really funny? The way we just sat.
Sat down as if I was completely normal. We do it all the
The weird
time.
thing was the fact that he'd spat the chicken out and we were still hugging him for another 10 minutes later. I found that odd. But then, like, the fact that when it finished, you just sat back down and you're just like, well, what are we having next? Like, it was just like nothing had happened. And I was sat there with my heart pounding and you two just laughing and eating. Just,
Yeah.
nothing had happened.
It's just another
it was-
day at the
yeah,
office.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's right.
Unbelievable.
So I mean, yeah, that was that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was that. And these things happen. These things happen.
Really hope you've enjoyed this episode of Across the Nations. I hope that it's inspiring you and showing you that with God anything is possible. If you've ever met Mike and Alan along the way and you've got a story, we'd love to hear it. So please get in touch at hello@crossthenations.com. Thanks for watching.
Don't tap the floor.
I'm only tapping it to get it out of my system before we start.
He's regulating himself.
Right.
Camera.
This is really hard. Right. This is really, really hard. Whew. Right. Welcome to the season final of Across the Nations. I'm going to start again.
Sorry, it's a finale.
Finale. Oh,
What
it's
did you
no.
say? Final. Did you
It's
say
not.
final?
Yeah, he said final.
Season
The
final.
series.
It's the
Not
finale.
season. Series final. Finale.
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 Yeah.
Welcome to the first finale.
No, it's finale,
Welcome to the.
Is this going to go in the outtakes now?
We should do it.
Great.
we should do.
Welcome to the finale of the series 1 of Across the Nations.
I'm just a puppet here, aren't I? I'm just a
You're
puppet.
not,
I am
Graham.
just a puppet.
We're here to help. Okay.
Right. It's really hard. Right.
We could keep these in later, can't we?
Welcome to the season.
Come on, Graham. You can do this. Come on, Graham.
Season final. Right.
Finale.
Welcome to the series finale. It sounds so weird. It sounds so bad. Welcome to the final episode of
You
Cross
can
the
say
Nations.
final episode.
Right.
Final episode of season 1.
Is it going to be the final episode, or is it going to be 2 though?
It could be. That's a point. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Do you want to say penultimate and final? Do 2 introductions in one go, and then you can put one in
that
another time.
confuses it.
Welcome to the first of a series of second finals that might be coming or might not be happening across the
Go with that. That's good. I like that.
Over the last 10 weeks, we've been hearing incredible stories from you both. Stories like going... I can't remember anything I want to say. Go on, start again,
Go
sorry.
on. Just
I'm really
say
sorry,
stories
fellas.
like. Go on.
Right, I'm sweating here. This is hard, right.
Come on, Graham. You can do this, mate.
I can do a better job at the beginning, right.
Continuity now.
Welcome to what could be the first... I
The
can't remember anything I want to say.
What
Been hearing all this for like I say 10 weeks now. So I mean, after 11 years of walking, why decide now to put these stories out there on a bigger platform? Why is now the right time? Oh,
Just do the last.
Okay.
He's crying.
this is awful.
Mike, I think you should answer it, by the way.
It's just the way he looked at me. It was like it's the tortoise did that stuff.
Oh,
Like,
The
it's like
tortoise
and
and the cat.
as she was looking at me, I was looking at you with the same eyes. You do it. You do it.
No,